Sports Blitz Live is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening.
You like being in stereo? Hey,
Hello,
Russ, there we go. There
Welcome
we go.
into this edition of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Brett Pritchard. We'll be with you for the next couple of hours, taking your phone calls, taking your comments, talking about everything going on in the world of sports. Again, 256-234-6221 if you got anything you'd like to add to the conversation or bring up a new subject. We'd love to hear from you. What do you have to say about all this? Obviously, college football going on. Auburn coming off a bye week. Alabama coming off a rebound, so to speak, as they barely escaped South Carolina in Tuscaloosa. They got a big one this week, the third weekend in October. That means Alabama and Tennessee, a game a lot of people look forward to. Some games around the SEC as well, around the nation. We got SEC basketball media days. Alabama predicted number 1, Auburn number 2 in the SEC, if you can believe that. Ken Palm ratings have Auburn the number 3 team in the country, and Alabama at number 4. So just a lot to be excited about if you're a basketball fan, especially in the SEC, NFL. Yet another exciting weekend. We got Major League Baseball, the NLCS, the ALCS, and we got high school football. There's too much to talk about, but we'll try to squeeze in as much as we can. Brad, good to see you tonight.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Andy. 2 weeks left for some teams in the regular season of the high school season. And,
Where did it go?
We all sneezed and it went away. But we're coming down to cases now in high school football. These games, the next 2 weeks, really. I mean, a lot of people taking shape, trying to get in the playoffs. Some have already solidified spots. I know here locally for Benjamin Russell, they need to win this game Friday, and that will put them in. Now, then they'll have one more region game, and then you'll have to just let it all play out. But could be an opportunity if Chelsea were to beat Helena and we were to beat Chelsea in 2 weeks, you have a 3-way tie for second. So
How would that work?
then it gets interesting.
Then you got to break out the calculator.
Yeah, and you have to start figuring everything out. And that, Benjamin Russell won the region last year on a tiebreaker. Homewood beat Ben Russell, and then Ben Russell turned around and beat Briarwood, and then Briarwood turned around and beat Homewood. And it came down to a tiebreaker, and the Wildcats won that tiebreaker, and they won the region. So, so again, Spain Park pretty much solidified the region in this particular region. They're region champs with a big win over Chelsea last Thursday. That was our game of the week. We were in Prattville today previewing the Prattville-Hillcrest Tuscaloosa game that'll be on Thursday. Those two teams still trying to fight and scrap maybe for the number 4 seed in that region in 7A. So there's a lot of things coming down to the end here. But I want to start maybe with some rankings because 7A really is a juggernaut, and really particularly it's the East Alabama region. Andy, we talk about on a weekly basis throughout high school football, but you have Auburn with all 18 first-place votes after knocking off Phoenix City as the unanimous number 1 team in 7A now. And, I met with Keith Etheridge before the season, and he told me he felt like this may be the best team that they've had since they've been there. And they've had some really good football teams at Auburn since he's been there, but he felt like this was a complete team. And he really felt good about this team because of their strengths on the lines of scrimmage. And we talk about that in SEC football. We talk about that in every level, but they're massive up front on the offensive line, and they're deep on the defensive line. Andy, I think they play 9 guys on the defensive line down at Auburn High School. So, when you have that
college team,
that's right. They've got a tremendous amount of depth. But Phoenix City only falls one spot, and rightfully so. It was a close game on the road, but kudos to Auburn.
But it was in Phoenix City?
It was in Phoenix City, and most people don't come out of that one alive when they make that trip. But foreshadowing maybe, rematch could be looming in the playoffs. We'll see. Thompson is number 3. Mary Montgomery from that Mobile region just picking up where they left off last year. They're just a very good football team, and their one loss came out of state. So, again.
Where is Mary Montgomery?
They're in Mobile.
Okay.
Another Mobile area team. Enterprise is 5, and they're 4-2. And, again, that
got beat by Opelika last week.
That's exactly right. And so Hoover 6, Carver Montgomery is 7. Carver lost a heartbreaker to Phoenix City this past week, and 17 to 14, I believe. And it was kind of a crazy game. Austin comes in at 8, Hewitt Trussell 9, and Baker 10. Opelika there on the outside is 6-1, trying to look to get into that top. But again, I mean, Opelika, if they take care of business coming down the stretch, they got a gauntlet ahead of them. I know they've got Carver left. I think they've got Phoenix City left ahead of them. So they got 2 tough opponents left, but sitting in good shape to try to make the playoffs, which is the most important thing. And, I'm looking back now at that Benjamin Russell Opelika game. I know it was the first game of the season, maybe one of the better games that Ben Russell played all year. You lose that game 28-14, but it was 21-14 going into the fourth quarter, and the Wildcats had a chance to get off the field with Opelika driving, and they hit them over the top and ended up winning by 2 scores. But
and I believe they had 42 penalties in that game.
I think so. I mean, it was one of the most unbelievable.
Literally, I think there was 25 penalties in that game.
There was. And still, in spite of that, we're in the football game, had a chance to win, really, or had a chance to at least tie that game late in the football game. But bottom line is, that's 7A there. We'll scroll on down to 6A. 6A is a –
people talk about 7A, and you just automatically think, well, if you're 7A, you're a good team.
Not necessarily.
Maybe I don't know if it says more about Auburn or if it says more about Smith Station.
Oh, it says more about Smith Station.
Auburn put 70.
Yeah, it probably could have been
Put
worse.
70 on Smith Station last week.
Not only is – and look, I'm not trying to bash anybody because with the AHSAA, network, we don't have a dog in the fight, but we cover high school football, so we give analysis on it, and it's not a bashing. It's just facts. You look at Smith Station, they're not really competitive, and especially in that region. Now, granted, they're in the worst region that you could possibly be in to be, a team that's struggling. And, it's just one giant after another every week that you have to play. And, but they played down to a 6A opponent a couple of weeks ago with Stanhope, and Stanhope beat them over there. You hate it for the kids. They're fighting, and they're a big school. Smith Station's a large school, but just really, really tough. But you're right. I'm not sure how that game went as far as I saw the final, but just knowing what I know, it probably could have been whatever. But here's one that it's going to come down in 6A to, I think any of these teams I've seen. Spain Park up close, they're number 4. Clay Chalkville just keeps doing what Clay Chalkville does, but they find themselves behind Saraland. Saraland's number 1. And then you got Parker, who may be the most talented of all those teams, there at number 3. And then Oxford comes in at number 5. So you got 5 really good football teams, and nothing against Muscle Shoals, Gadsden City, Homewood, Hartselle, and Chelsea. But those top 5 teams, they've kind of separated themselves a little bit. And, Spain Park's just got what you got to have, man. They've got a great quarterback. They got a dynamic receiver on the end and DJ Barber, and they got 2, not 1, but 2 big-time running backs back there that they just keep alternating in and out. And they beat Chelsea 31-3, and Chelsea was undefeated and a good football team. And so we've seen them up close and personal. Good. It's going to take, and again, you have Spain Park that moves down from 7A to 6A, and you had Chelsea that moved down from 7A to 6A, and it's been good to both of them. I'll just say that.
Well, like you said, who do you say, Chelsea and Helena playing?
Could play, yeah. That'll be
a good game.
It will be a good game, and then Benjamin Russell will play Chelsea in 2 weeks here at the Sportplex. So just going to quickly talk about 5A, man. You talk about 3 really good teams at the top, really 4. Catholic Montgomery moves up from 4A to 5A, and they have not slowed down one bit. They have just been beating teams unmercifully, and they've got the longest regular season winning streak going right now. And
I don't seem Christian.
No, it doesn't seem Christian. I don't think they're that when the whistle blows, man, they're not really thinking about being too kind to people. Gunnersville number 2, Clay Central. I talked to Coach Horn today through text message, and going to try to get him on in a couple weeks. Their off week is the last week of the season, but they're going to finish 10-0. They got a tough one this week. Now, look, if he heard me say that right now, he'd probably get on to me. But they got a tough game in Beauregard, and it'll be for the region championship. And Beauregard's better this year, so they got to go there. But I would ride with Central Clay. But now the new all-time wins leader in the state, and Danny Horn. So special season for him, and they went 10-0 last year and got knocked out in the first round. That's not by Terry Curtis. So that kind of has sat in their crawl all year. They're going to get back to looks like going to be a repeat of a 10-0 season. I don't think they'll go out in the first round this year. I'm just going to go on out there and roll the dice and say that. So.
We got to go ahead and take a first break here, but don't go anywhere. We're just getting started on this edition of Sports Blitz Live. More to come right after this.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama, is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We're your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout Central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
Red Flag Pest Control is Central Alabama's best in pest control with hometown service in Lake Martin and now the greater Montgomery area. When you see pests, throw down the red flag. Termites, bed bugs, carpenter bees, mosquitoes, or general pests. Red Flag gets the job done at the right price for your home or business. At Lake Martin, call 888-943-0353 or in Montgomery, 334-265-1831. Red Flag, the best in pest control in Central Alabama.
I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. We're looking at some high school matchups for this coming Friday night. Let's take a look at something.
Well, yeah, this Friday, kind of went through some of the rankings there. We didn't go through everything, kind of highlighted through 5A, but some key games. In 7A, it doesn't take you long to look down and see two real crucial games. Auburn at Carver, and these are all in-region games. Auburn sitting there at top at 7-0, but Carver, again, narrowly losing there to Phoenix City last week and trying to rebound, and extremely talented team. Bobby Carr is an outstanding coach. So that one will be fun to watch. Phoenix City will be at Opelika. Opelika 7-1. Phoenix City 6-1. And Opelika is overachieving. I'll say that. Based on the region and kind of how things set up, everybody kind of felt like Opelika may be fighting for that 4th seed with Dothan and Enterprise. But man, they beat Phoenix City. They're going to be up there trying to lock down second, if Auburn holds on and wins. So you got the Hoover-Thompson matchup. That's at Thompson. It's a battle of 6-2 teams there. Mary Montgomery will be at Baker. That's a battle for a region championship. Mary Montgomery 7-1. Baker is 6-1. Two very good football teams there. In 6A football, Clay Chalkville at Oxford. That may be the game of the week. Two 7-0 teams, a matchup of two top 5 teams, and they got to go to Oxford. Clay Chalkville really has run roughshod over everybody, and so they're the defending 6A champs. We'll see if Oxford can step up to the plate and knock them off. Right now, nobody's been able to do that.
Well, Clay Chalkville known for a high-powered offense. What's Oxford known for?
Both. They both have.
So we're talking a shootout.
It could be a shootout, and Oxford's got a tremendous quarterback, got some really good receivers. They've got K.J. Britt's younger brother at linebacker, who a lot of people say may be better than he was. That yet to be seen because K.J.'s in the pros.
That's right.
So if he's better than him, he's got to show it. But again, very good athlete there. That Helena-Chelsea matchup, the Helena goes to Chelsea. Again, key game. If Helena loses that game, then Chelsea comes to Benjamin Russell next week, and if Benjamin Russell beats Chelsea, you got a 3-way tie for second. So a lot of things still yet to be decided, but you got to take them one at a time. You look on down at Gulf Shores, and here's a shocker to everybody. Gulf Shores is your defending 5A champs. Not too good in 6A this year. They're 2-5. And I'm telling you, Andy, that just shows you when you move up a classification in this state and you can be as good as Gulf Shores, and I know they lost a couple of guys off that team, Ronnie Royal being one of them, the running back, but still had a very good football team, had a lot of good players coming back. And the move up to 6A, man, it can be brutal. And that goes for any classification. When you go from 2A to 3A or 3A to 4A or whatever. So that's found it tough sledding here in 6A football.
Oh, definitely. No question about it. I mean, some teams do it effortlessly. I can't even say it. Effortlessly.
Yeah.
Like a Mars Hill. Or like
a Fife, sure.
Or some guy, those. But that's usually
how about Fife moves
or Clay County?
How about Fife moves down from 3A to 2A, and they've lost. Now they've hit a skid, and they've gone down a classification. I'll never forget. Davil did that several years ago. They went 0-10 in a lower classification and moved up a class and went 10-0.
Yeah.
So a lot of times,
Not a lot of rhyme or reason.
There's not a lot of rhyme or reason, but those are some games that you'll want to watch there around the state. Obviously, I just mentioned Central Clay is 8-0, and they'll be at Beauregard 5-2, and Beauregard is much improved, a better football team this year, so should be a very good football game there. When you go down and look at some other games, just kind of trying to see some that may stand out in some of the lower classifications. Don't really see much there in 4A. Locally, Talissee's 4-2. St. James is 5-3. That could be a good football game. That's a big region game there for those two teams fighting to see where they're going to land in the playoffs. Locally, again, Dayville picked up their first win a couple of weeks ago against Lee Scott. They'll take on B.B. Comer, who's 2-5 and had a big win last week. So they got to go to B.B. Comer and see if Dayville can try to find a way to win another game.
Comer having a down year after several good years in a row.
Right. And, and I talked to Coach Fawcett a few weeks ago when we were up there highlighting their game, and they lost a very close game that night. He said, look, in communities like ours, you get the ebbs and flows. And we know that here in Alex City, too. I mean, the last couple of years have been really good in Alexander City and still got a good football team, but probably not where we want to be. And you just – when you lose Malcolm Simmons and you lose Gabe Benton and you lose Chris Foster and you lose your leading tackle at middle linebacker and you lose several other key guys, it's hard to replace them. You may have younger guys coming, but it takes a little time. So that's just a few games to highlight there. Here's another one that you'll watch. Montgomery Academy's having a really good year. Not that they're playing Prattville Christian, which is not having a good year, but Montgomery Academy really playing well. And then here's a matchup of two AHSAA teams, Andy, from last year in the AHSAA championship. Now both in AHSAA, and it's Lee Scott and Glenwood. And Glenwood's undefeated, and these two teams know a lot about each other because they played each other for a long time in AHSAA, but now they're in AHSAA. And Glenwood, with this win, may win the region in their first year.
How about that?
So
yeah, I mean, Dayville gets their first win against Lee Scott.
Right.
Loses the next week against Glenwood.
And that's how it goes, man. So Glenwood's a very good football team. I've seen film on them. Very big up front, very physical. They look the part, and again, they're from that Phoenix City area, so they get some of that runoff, let's just be honest, from all those talented teams over there in that area. So Glenwood, man, could improve to 8-0 with a win and may go undefeated their first year in AHSAA play, man. That's a big deal.
Look at James Madison in college.
I know, man.
They go from FCS to FBS, and
wow,
they ready. I mean, they could have won, and nobody wanted to play them last year for sure. Toward the end,
that's
North
right.
Carolina don't want to ever see them again.
No, they don't ever want to see them. So, so some good games. We won't continue on with that, but just kind of letting everybody know that already doesn't. I mean, most everybody watching this program knows that it's coming down to the nitty gritty for AHSAA and high school, and these games are huge. I mean, these region matchups, especially this coming week and next week, going to determine who makes the playoffs and who don't.
Birmingham will host the
Birmingham will host the Super Protective Stadium. Yeah,
and that's heretofore in Birmingham. Or are we thinking some different places?
Well, they're in talks with other universities right now. With Auburn and Alabama being out, for the foreseeable future.
Can we go?
What?
Can we? Are we sure we don't want to go ahead and have it in Jordan?
I think we would be safe to go ahead.
Is that going to be a problem, really? Are we a threat?
We would love to think we will be in the future, but right now it looks pretty abysmal. You started it tonight. If you look, I'm the one that usually gets off on a negative rant, but here you've already kind of needled it right there. So, hey, but you just
4 years in a row, man. 4 years in a row.
Hey, we'll talk about that here in just a minute when we come back on college.
Why don't we do it?
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Hi, I'm Abby Guy, Vice President at Riverbank and Trust. They say that most banks offer the same products, but Riverbank offers something most can't: personal connection. We love getting to know our customers by name and making them feel special with every interaction. It's a feeling of warm hospitality you won't find anywhere else. Experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We're brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner in downtown Alexander City. Great people, great food, great atmosphere there at JR's Sports Bar and Grill. Go by there and have a meal one day this week. All right, Brett, turning our attention from high school to college, I suppose.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Well, where do you start? I think Auburn will be back in action this week, and since we do a 5-day-a-week program on Auburn, we'll start with Alabama. I think, and Luke's usually in this seat, and so he's usually kind of steering the ship with you on Tuesday night. But let's talk about Alabama for a little bit. And you know, I heard some talk this week from some other shows and some other things on social media about, you know, the difference in Nick Saban coached Alabama teams coming off of a loss versus a Kalen DeBoer coached team coming off a loss. Is you felt really bad about the team that had to play Alabama after a loss, and they're right. This team looks a little disorganized, a little out of sorts, and you know, talked to JJ this week, and I really asked him. I said, "Is there need to be concerned? Be honest." And he said, "Yeah, absolutely," because he said, "You know, I see a lot of things happening this year that winning football teams don't do." And he said, number one, winning football teams don't allow a team to get an onside kick at the end. winning football teams.
And that was one of the better onside
Now,
kicks
it
I've
was.
ever seen.
It was, but winning football team, he's just – it wasn't
right,
just
he's
that,
right.
but he's naming off all kind of different things, and he's right. I mean, we don't see the same type of Alabama team on the field as we've been used to seeing, and Alabama fans know that more than anybody, and Gary Harris and I talk about it and been talking about it for several years. He said, Brett, I'm going to tell you, people up here are going to struggle when it gets bad. And he said bad could be two losses. He said, or 3, and he said 3 could be devastating for people.
There were people on the bridge when South Carolina got that onside kick.
There were.
They were ready to jump.
Well, and if you want, look, ifs and buts, no, we know all that, but let's credit Alabama for winning the game.
Sure.
Credit Alabama for holding on against Georgia and winning that game, because that could have been one of the biggest collapses in college football history. But they averted that by coming right back and Ryan Williams making a freak play. But then they lose to Vanderbilt, and they lost ugly. So this 3-game stretch, really the first half of the Georgia game since then, Alabama has not looked very good. So, I mean, if you want to look at 10 quarters of football out of the last 12, the last 10 have not been pretty. So,
well, look, I'll say, you could look at it and say, yeah, there are signs, like you were talking about, that this is not this is a different looking program right now. I give you a couple of examples. Number one, first of all, somebody might say, Nick Saban wouldn't have blown a big lead, like he did against Georgia. I do recall an Iron Bowl that he gave Blue a pretty big lead.
Yeah.
So that happens to everybody occasionally.
Yeah.
But there were two things. Obviously, the Malachi Moore thing against Vanderbilt, assaulting Pavia on the ground and then just kicking the ball, and getting a personal foul. That kind of thing, that would not really – I don't –
No, you never see that.
There was a play in the South Carolina game. It was a defensive back. I don't even remember. I was just kind of flipping back and forth watching. I wasn't paying close attention. But I believe he either made an interception or he made a big tackle that kept them. I think they went for it on 4th down and didn't get it, and it's because he stopped them. And he was really happy. On how players sometimes they're really happy and they're all pumped up. And he went over to the sideline, and he was huffing and puffing and doing all this. But he just took his helmet and threw it, And because I guess in some sort of, angry celebration.
Yeah, he did. Right.
He did. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I saw it.
Okay,
man.
And I saw that and I thought, yeah, that's not a good look. And I was thinking that would have never happened. So now to say that, okay, it's a little bit different. Well, guess what? Alabama's not coached by a cyborg anymore.
Right, correct.
And welcome to reality, Alabama fans. It's been 15 years of a crack high. Okay, welcome back. This is what happens when you're coached by a normal human.
Right. And Kalen DeBoer's a good coach, man.
He's a very good coach. But things go awry occasionally.
Right.
Well, they're getting a little taste, a small little taste of that.
Look, Alabama fans those that were not born until the Saban era and have only known Saban, Alabama. I mean, I've had other Alabama friends of mine say, those are all trust fund babies. Those are all trust fund Alabama fans because they've never known anything but dominance. And it takes some type of alignment of stars and crazy stuff to happen for them to lose a football game. I mean, you just said it. I mean, how many times did Nick Saban get blown out in a football game? Clemson, I remember, in the national championship game. That one got away from them, one of those games. But for the most part, I mean, the Utah game down in the Sugar Bowl, that was one. But, I mean, there's so few and far between. I mean, and somebody told me, again, this is all Alabama fans talking, and they said, look, the only thing that would cement, the start of the fall of Alabama's program would be when they get blown out. And when can this team be blown out? I don't know that this team can be blown out. I think they can. I don't know. It would take unraveling. It would take, players infighting or whatever, and some discord there. But we've seen some cracks in the armor. And look, here's the deal. Alabama's still got some tough games ahead, and we'll see how it all plays out. They've got a very tough one this Saturday, but for some reason they put MIA posters up for Tennessee's offense in Knoxville because it's somebody kidnapped it a couple of weeks ago in Arkansas, and it bled over into Florida. So they've got their own issues to deal with. But Andy, if they were to go up there and play bad in a tough environment, because you know a lot of you want to think that maybe Tennessee was overlooking Florida a little bit getting ready for that Alabama game. I don't know why you would do that after you just got your butt beat by Arkansas. But, you know, we saw Auburn lay a hard-boiled egg against New Mexico State and come back and basically beat Alabama in every phase outside of the scoreboard, and should have probably won the football game, given that miraculous 4th and 31 that you don't ever see. But my point is, week to week, if Tennessee kind of finds themselves, and if Alabama goes up there and plays sloppy football like they did against Vanderbilt, you know, what would happen? What would the mentality of Alabama fans be if they got beat by 3 touchdowns or something along that line? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, let's not forget that Florida's in Tennessee's head.
There is no doubt about that.
Tennessee lost to Florida last year, bad, in the Swamp. Okay, so that game can't really. Now, Are they struggling against Arkansas too? So you're exactly right. Iamai Leva is not playing well at all right now, and that will be. But Alabama's got a tough 3-game stretch: at Tennessee, Missouri at home, then a bye, then at LSU. The next 3 games for Alabama obviously will tell the tale of this season. That's a tough stretch.
And they've dodged, let's be honest, they've dodged the bullet a couple of times in the last 3. They got beat by Vanderbilt, but, man, South Carolina came back in that game and had the lead, and then Georgia came back and took the lead. But they spent so much energy coming back to take the lead, they gave it right back up and couldn't finish the game. But, man, I mean, could you imagine where Kalen DeBoer would be right now if he's on a 3-game losing streak going to Tennessee?
Oh, no.
I mean, woo.
They'd be.
But I think that's in the back of most. And look, y'all call us and tell us. Send us a message on Facebook and YouTube. I mean, I'm not misspeaking, I don't think. I think I'm not saying Alabama's a bad football team, but just it is not what we've been used to seeing.
It's not dominant.
It's not.
No, by any
And that defense really isn't.
No. They look average at best.
So.
All right, got to take another break. Don't go anywhere. More to come right after these messages.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes. They're installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. College football still, we are at the midway point of the season, if you can believe that. High school season coming toward the end of it, but halfway to go in the college football
Luke will join us here in the next segment.
Luke's going to try to give us it.
I can't wait to hear about what he says.
Well, at the last time I talked to Luke, Alabama had come back to beat Georgia, and it was the greatest game in the history of college football.
Okay, yeah.
And everybody was, joyful and lovely, and they, they gave up a big lead, but everything's fine. Kalen DeBoer is the man. We love him. And things have changed a little bit.
Things have changed a little bit.
And then out of Luke Robinson's own mouth the next week, this is the worst loss in the history of Alabama football.
So the best win to the worst loss.
To the worst loss. So there you go.
Well, I mean, look, let's just be honest about it. We'll stay with Alabama here and then move into Auburn a little bit later on. But this is and Luke, tweeted some stuff out. He said, long are the days where we were a 21-point favorite and we didn't have to sweat in the fourth quarter. Again, you've lost to Vanderbilt. You can spin it however you want to do it, and Vanderbilt is better. There's no question about it, and it's because of Diego Pavia. And I wish Auburn would have gone out and gotten him after he came in and obliterated us last year and really didn't get any offers out of the portal and ended up at Vanderbilt because his coach ends up at Vanderbilt, so he brought him with him, and that's the best daggum thing that ever happened to Clark Lee. And let's say this, Vanderbilt's 4-2. They easily could be 5-1, man, because they had Missouri beat, dude.
They got beat by Georgia State.
I know. Well, just think about that. But they Vanderbilt.
They ought to be undefeated.
And that's what I'm saying. That they're gonna have a hiccup, but dadgummit, man, they responded, went on the road and beat Kentucky, and that's back-to-back years doing that. This team is a legitimate football team because they got a legitimate quarterback. It's the same Vanderbilt football team as last year, but then you add in, that just tells you and reaffirms what we talk about on this program and all of our shows that we're blue in the dadgum face, is that a quarterback can change the entire scope of the team overnight. And it can make up for some of the deficits that your team might have, Andy. And, I don't know what the wait and see was for Hugh Freeze. And I know I'm going into Auburn for a second, and I'm going to continue to just pound that square peg into this round hole. I don't understand what he was looking at in the offseason thinking that Peyton Thorne was going to be the answer. And it's been one disaster after another this year. It's the worst start of any of the last 3 or 4 years. Including Brian Harsin, okay? So we have not gotten better on the field. The talent is better, yes. And James, we've heard James call in on Auburn Blitz, and we've talked about it, and he's right in a lot of phases because we gave the Oklahoma game away. We gave the Arkansas game away. We gave the Cal game away. And we'll talk more about that later. But dadgummit, man, Quarterback makes all the difference in the world.
It does. There's absolutely no question about it. Can I say something that you'll hate?
That's fine.
Auburn has, and again, we might as well talk about it since
I don't know how
we're on the
much
subject.
more anything I can hate worse than I already hate, but sling it out
Auburn has, and I made this point, and we always make this point about Auburn being very resilient as a program. And I've cited examples, and you can go back. Obviously, you can talk about Pat Dye taking over. Last year, Doug Barfield went 5-6. First year, Pat Dye went 5-6. Then won 9 games and won the SEC.
Right.
Then, you know, I keep going down the line. I mean, 91, 92, 5-1, 5-6. Went, 11-0 the next year. Yada. Every coach that comes in, we have immediate success almost.
Not now.
If not, it's the second year. But it's never been sustainable outside of Pat Dye. It's always been, okay, we get it, and then we go.
I already know where you're going with this.
So maybe.
I know where you're going.
Maybe. It's good for Auburn that we're struggling right now.
I knew this
in the first 2 years of Hugh Freeze because we haven't earned it yet. And as a program, I'm not saying Hugh Freeze is the right guy. He may not be the right guy.
I hope he is.
But I am willing to give him the latitude for 3 years at least, maybe 4, to try to build this thing the right way and to see if we can build, as Pat Dye said, build a foundation we can live off of for a long time. Don't know if it'll happen.
Well, you got to do enough.
It hurts right now.
Well, you got to do enough in this
awful
modern age of football, Andy, to keep the dadgum players you got.
That's true.
I mean, it's a different
You
world.
got to work it every which way.
It's a different world now. So I tell you what, I think Luke's waiting. So why don't we just go to break? And we'll come back and we'll have a full segment.
That sounds like
The
good.
guys at Alex City Marine are ready for your boating needs all summer. And now you can get up to $4,500 in rebates on our huge selection of new Landau Tri-Tunes and sacrifice pricing on remaining 23 models. Alex City Marine also has a new fleet of rental boats for fabulous days on the water, whether it's service, new pontoon selections, or rental boats. See the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road in Alexander City or online at alexcitymarine.com. The new owners of Stillwater's Country Club want to welcome you to play the area's premier course at Stillwater's with our new rate. Now, play for only $35 per 18 during the week and only $40 for the weekend. Stillwater's Golf is ready to give you the area's best golf experience, and many upgrades are coming, including a lighted range and course expansion. Meet the new staff and enjoy $35 per 18 Monday through Friday and $40 on the weekends. All at Stillwater's Country Club in Dadeville.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care, open 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Going to go to the phone line and welcome in our good friend Luke Robinson. Luke, You doing all right today?
Doing just ducky right here in Salt Lake City.
Sounds good. Well, Luke, the last time you and I talked, Alabama had just come back and beat Georgia, and all was right with the world, and everybody was happy, in Alabama land, and they thought Kalen DeBoer was he was the greatest coach that we could have possibly gotten to replace Nick Saban. And in the last 2 weeks, they lose to Vanderbilt, and they barely escape a game against South Carolina. And, I mean, just tell me, what's your state of the Alabama program right now?
I think he could still be the best man to replace Saban. I think, time will tell. And it's hard to even tell after 1 year. I mean, everybody thought Larry Coker was going to be the next big thing when he took over Miami, too. So even if you win the championship, it doesn't mean you are the man. But, losing to Vanderbilt has it's still been sort of a whirlwind. I mean, it's been sort of like, I can't believe this happened, but I'll say this. It's much easier to absorb it now with a 12-team playoff. I mean, because that would practically eliminate Alabama. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it would eliminate them in the 14 playoff, which I could understand. That was my whole argument, that if you can't beat Vanderbilt, I'm not sure you should be in the playoffs. Well, now we got 12 teams, and so we'll see what happens. But the South Carolina game, everything looked right on that first drive. Everything was beautiful. And then it felt like I think one play was the catalyst for things going downhill. Jalen Milroe missed Ryan Williams on what would have been about a 75-yard, 80-yard touchdown. Williams had gotten 2 or 3 steps on his man, and he just overthrew him just by a little bit. And if he makes that play and it goes 14-0 in 2 drives, I think the game's probably over. But that play gave South Carolina some life, and then they just hang around. And Alabama did some really dumb things. They got a penalty on a touchback, a personal foul penalty on a touchback, which is really hard to do. And so it puts them at the 12.5 instead of putting them at the 25. And then, of course, Jalen Milroe drops back, and he makes a stupid play by getting the safety. And I was okay with the play call, meaning I was okay with trying to go get some more points before the half. I was totally fine on board with that. But I might not have been on board with, at least I was when we were going to get the ball at the 25. At the 12.5, I was like, maybe we should take this thing to halftime. But, I think that's something Jimmy Stein and I have been talking about is, the defense is catching a lot of flack. But the offense, if the offense is going to be a quick strike offense, well, you can't just be the quick. You got to strike, too. And so you got to get the defense some points, and you got to help them out a little bit. And because if you go out there and you go 3 and out very quickly, that's the thing about these, very moving fast offenses. If they get off the field quick and the defense has to go right back out there, well, then all of a sudden the defense gets a little worn out because you play somebody like South Carolina that's not necessarily moving at breakneck speed, and they're sort of ground and pound for the most part. And the next thing you know, your offense hadn't touched the ball in 8 to 10 minutes. And it makes for a big problem, and your offense can't get in a rhythm and things like that. So still a lot to work on for Alabama. I wouldn't even call myself optimistic about this weekend. I think it's going to be a tough game, but, Tennessee's got a slew of its own problems. They didn't look very good. Again, for all intents and purposes, they should have lost to Florida. But they got very fortunate that Graham Mertz, who was really starting to come on, he got injured, and he's out for the year, unfortunately for him. And they also got really fortunate, if you ask me, that Billy Napier decided not to go for 2 and let it go to overtime, which I thought was kind of a curious call, but it is what it is. And, I think there's still a lot of questions. And what I'm looking around the country and seeing, I don't think there are any great teams. Now, some people will say, again, another great reason for the 12-team playoff, and I say, well, I think we're going to have a lot of mediocre teams in this 12-team playoff. It'll be exciting, though, and that's what everybody wants to see.
Well, Luke, I've had some conversations with some other Alabama fans this week, and then I talked to Gary Harris over the weekend. And, I like Gary. We've been on each other's show for a long time. And, the thing about it is, he's a realist, and he goes, look, let's just be honest. He said it's not been a typical 17-year what Alabama fans have been used to stretch for football, and you can see maybe some things that have you've never seen with Alabama in the last 15 or so years kind of creep in this year. And again, in transition, I think every coach has to be their own person. I think it's part of the deal, though. When you follow a guy like Nick Saban or a legend, any legend, there's going to be comparisons, and there's going to be a lot of nitpicking on why things aren't the way they used to be and all that kind of stuff. But all that being said, Alabama did find a way to win the game. But moving into the latter part of the season, it's not an easy stretch. I mean, you got although Tennessee hasn't played well, you got to go up there. And then you get Missouri at home, and we still have seen Missouri kind of be up and down. But it's really more of a microcosm, like Gary and I talked about. It's really not about the rest of the country. And a lot of, I hear what you're saying, Luke. I don't know who really is good out there. But when you look at it, it's really about what Alabama fans are looking at with their program. And really in a microcosm of itself. Is there anything that really concerns you about DeBoer in these last 3 weeks and maybe how the team's been handled?
Well, yeah, I think you said something about DeBoer. Apparently there's a biker rally.
Well, I didn't know if the place exploded or what. So.
Yeah, I know. I still really like him. Now, unbelievably, I did not expect this, but on the Locked On Bama podcast, the first thing I did after the Vanderbilt game was do a live show, and I said, hey, look, I don't even know where to start. Yeah, I do know where to start. That shirt that he was wearing got to go. And I didn't imply that the shirt he was wearing is the reason Alabama lost. I was just saying, hey, I don't care if you wear a T-shirt, at least wear one that looks good. That one didn't look good. And as a friend of mine said, he said his wife told him it looked like as the game went on, the shirt got smaller and he got fatter. And I agreed. I just thought it was a bad look. I mean, some shirts don't fit people right. And so, I think that the whole Shirtgate thing created a little bit of controversy. Some people were like, I don't care if he wears a ballerina's tutu and coaches well. Well, that's true. Or as long as he wins, I'm like, that's true. But we didn't win. So, yeah, I mean, he deserves some criticism. We used to get on Gus Malzahn for wearing a sweater vest. I mean, I won't get on my guy when I think he wears something that doesn't look good. And, this last game, he caught some heck because after the game, he was smiling. Now, look, I think that one is a little silly. I mean, in the end, I think take your wins where you can get them. Now, Nick Saban, people go, Nick Saban wouldn't have smiled. No, he wouldn't. Nick Saban's a cyborg, though. He's a robot. Nobody's ever going to compare to Nick Saban. He's the best that's ever done it. He's the best that ever will do it, and nobody's ever going to do it again. It's done. It's over. Let it go. And I love him, but I love him on game day too. He's great. But DeBoer's not going to win with that much success. He's going to win because the program is set up to win, because he's got all the resources, because everything's in place, and he's a good coach too. But he's not going to win like Saban, and I mean nobody would. And so just let it go. And I think that, the sooner more Alabama fans understand, look, it's not going to be a dominant run where we're talking about three-peats or we're a kick six away from a three-peat or a pit play against Clemson away from a repeat or a three-peat or whatever. That's not happening again. Now, Alabama will always be in the discussion. And that's fantastic, and it's great to be an Alabama fan still. I mean, and look at the basketball team; they're ranked number 2 in the country. That's not going to last either. It's going to last for a little bit, but it's not going to last forever. So enjoy it while you got it. I always said that when Saban was here.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, and I think again, when you lose a guy like Saban, the next guy up, everything is going to get nitpicked, including what you did with the shirt. Which, by the way, I texted you and said, I can't believe you tweeted this because that's the discussion we just had about that. We're like, Nick Saban never would have worn a T-shirt and never would have worn one that ugly. And then I saw your tweet about the T-shirt, and I was like, my gosh, we're all kind of thinking the same thing. But, again, probably not talking about the T-shirt if Alabama wins. But when they have a horrible loss like that, and it is a new coach, then everything is under the microscope, and that's what it's going to be the rest of the year for Kalen DeBoer. And again, you got to go to LSU, you got to go to Tennessee, and look, Auburn's terrible right now, but we don't know if Auburn can kind of turn around. Their numbers say different, but they turned it over so many daggum times we don't even know who has the ball from one possession to the next. Auburn will still be Auburn in the Iron Bowl. There'll still be pressure for the first Iron Bowl for Kalen DeBoer. I mean, there's still some tough games. Like, let's play hypothetical, Luke. I think Alabama's still a playoff team, but if Alabama loses 2 more games, what do you think his fan base does?
I think they'll be upset. I mean, I'll be upset. I mean, I don't think we should lose 2 more games. I mean, we could. LSU is kind of felt a shut. Let's see what LSU does these next 2 weeks. They're at Arkansas. Tennessee will tell you how dangerous that is, and they're at Texas A&M, and Missouri will tell you how dangerous that is. Let's see what LSU does then before we anoint them anything. But and Oklahoma is certainly. Oh my gosh! I almost got attacked. Is walking down the street. Salt Lake's a little bit more dangerous than I thought.
Yeah, no kidding.
But anyway, yeah, I think that in the end, I think they'll still have a good shot to make it. I think they definitely get in with 2 losses. I believe that, even if one of them's Vandy. With 3, it's going to be tricky because one of them is Vandy. But who knows? Because right now it doesn't look like a lot of teams are going to go undefeated. I mean, it doesn't look like many at all will. So, I mean, there is no telling how this thing's going to end up.
Well, Luke, I'm not sure if you're getting ready for the Texas-Georgia game early with some Georgia fans in the background, or if that was a real dog out in Salt Lake City.
That was an actual dog.
Well.
If I'd have been a Georgia fan, I probably just would have slung my drink at him.
Well, be safe in Salt Lake City. We appreciate it. We'll catch up with you later, okay, buddy?
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks so much.
Got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Foshie's Watts on Dable Road in Alexander City is always making improvements, making it bigger, like making their pellet ice a 10-pound bag for $2. How about their biscuits? Have you tried their biscuits with regular cheese or hoop cheese with sausage and ham and salmon, and throw an egg on there, and you got a happy person. And don't forget about they have propane and wood. That's Foshie's Watts, Dable Road, Alex City.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
GMC SUVs, GMC SUVs. On sale now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. The GMC Terrain, the compact SUV with seating for 5. And now discounted up to $6,500 off. The full-size GMC Yukons, discounted up to $9,000 off. Choose from almost 200 new GMCs. Get your best price every day on the lot or online at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports
You're a
Blitz
Braves
Live.
fan. You better find somebody
Amy
else to pull
Graham
for.
and Brett Pritchard here with you. Got one more hour in tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there.
Where'd that hour go?
Being with us. I don't know. It all flies by. Give us a call, 256-234-6221 if you want to be part of the conversation. Talking about college football. We talked about high school football a good bit, of course. We could talk about basketball. We talk
We had
about
Joe on hold, and I guess he got pissed and he hung up. So, I mean, maybe
well, he heard Auburn. He's
yeah, I don't want to talk about that. So.
Yeah. But anyway.
Luke may survive Salt Lake City. I don't know. It was a little
sounds
sketchy.
like
Where was he at? He said he was outside the Delta Center.
Outside the Delta
About to go
apparently
in. He bought a $1 ticket, which is sketchy.
There's
I mean, in itself.
I don't know if this is like, what's the movie about, where they do once a year, they let people out to kill each other?
Oh, you talking about The Purge?
Yeah, it sounded like that. There were dogs.
There was bikers.
There was bikers going, and I mean, it was.
Either that or he was in Mad Max.
Maybe so.
I don't know which one it was. It's rough out there in Salt Lake City.
That alternate Back to the Future 2 with Biff Tannen.
Yeah, he's in the good.
Maybe Luke went.
Biff Tannen and the.
Did he take a DeLorean to Utah?
Hey, it was 80s, off the subject, was 80s one of the best decades for movies?
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, just
music too?
and movies, man.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan was president. I mean, was it about the best decade?
Of course, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm partial to the 90s.
Well, I mean, I am too, but I mean, 80s.
Yeah, it's hard.
I mean, what does everybody think out there? I mean, I think.
Yeah, greatest decade for you.
I mean, I think the 60s generation would say the 60s was probably.
Well, if they remember it, yeah.
That was.
But I'll leave that for
nobody saying the 2000s is the best.
No.
Good Lord. Boy, Y2K, and it's been downhill since, hasn't it? Good Lord. What a scam. What a scam.
Wow.
You're going to lose all your information if you don't.
Power grid's going
Yeah,
down.
it doesn't. The computer can't read.
The
computer was going to get confused. It does not. We got Elon Musk somewhere was laughing, going, I mean, do they really think computers are going to shut down because it can't read another digit? I mean, that may be. We will, as society, we will panic over anything. I mean, we've had a daggum pandemic, and I'm not saying it wasn't serious, because it was, but I mean, to the extreme. Look, if I offend you by saying this, I just have to offend you, because I'd probably tell you to your face. If you're riding in a car by yourself with a mask on, you got a problem. Okay, again, it's my opinion. I don't care. I think it's stupid. Who are you trying to keep yourself from getting a germ from? The fly that got in your car? I mean, I don't understand it, man. Like, when you ride down the road and you see somebody in a car with the windows rolled up with their mask on, what are you trying to do other than play doctor? I mean, I
don't see many people doing that anymore. But
I saw somebody yesterday doing it. So they are still out there. Wow. And you know what? If I offend you, I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel about it. Maybe you need to go check yourself. I'm telling you, that's.
Well, yeah, I bet there's probably, since we're off the subject.
Good grief.
There's probably somewhere, in rural Mississippi, there's some person that's probably got a higher IQ than Elon Musk. But I'm just saying that randomly, there's probably somebody out there.
You really went and dug in Mississippi to see somebody.
I'm just saying there's somewhere out there in the world, there's somebody with a higher IQ than him. But has there ever been somebody that's that smart, that has that many resources, that can get things done?
Is he the golden one?
I mean, this guy, and
he just landed a booster and caught it. I mean, that thing right there.
He sent a rocket into space, and the thing came down right where it left.
He parked it like it just. I'm telling you, man. Like have you ever heard him talk about?
I'm just saying.
But have you ever heard him talk about his dreams and how he got up and he wrote all that stuff down? And he, it kind of happened over progression. He didn't know anything about a rocket. I mean, SpaceX just came to him in like a sequence of dreams. I mean, look, man, some guys just
I mean, a lot of people are smart,
right?
But
right.
not everybody can put it into production.
Yeah, that's what.
So I mean, the guy that ought to tell you something.
Guess what he doesn't do? Ride in the car with a mask on.
No,
that's not what Elon Musk is
no,
doing.
it doesn't.
I'm sorry.
But anyway.
I didn't mean to be mean or whatever, but it just sometimes you need to check yourself.
It probably needed to be said. All right, the SEC.
I'm not afraid.
SEC media poll is out for
You're
basketball.
too nice, Andy.
You're
too nice.
I know it.
You're too nice. The basketball poll is out.
It is out. Alabama, they got number 1. The media feels like. Auburn number 2.
I mean, that's a fair deal. I mean, they've got the best. Didn't Mark Sears get preseason player of the year?
Yes, he did.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that either. Because if you take him off that Alabama team last year, they're not.
They didn't go to the Final Four.
No. And, he was the straw that stirred the drink for sure. And he's back, man. He's going to be tough. I mean, they've got some really good pieces around him. I mean, Nelson's back. Reitzel's back. I mean, he shot the eyeballs out of it. They picked up LeBaron Fallon. Of course, they got this guy named Aiden Holloway. We'll see how he plays. But they got a talented roster. And, I saw Coach Pearl yesterday, talked to him for a little while at the Lake Martin Auburn Club golf tournament at Wicker Point. It's a beautiful day, great turnout. I just looked at Coach. I said, man, what were you thinking, man? He's like, man, got to beef up the schedule. And, there's a possibility that Auburn plays North Carolina and Duke back-to-back. If they happen to play North Carolina and that's their last game, they come home, the next game's Duke. I mean, how about that? And then you mix Houston and Purdue in there and Ohio State. I mean, that's before you get started in the SEC schedule, man.
Really?
So, but Auburn, look, kudos. I think Luke's giving credit. We give credit. Nate Oates and Bruce Pearl have Auburn and Alabama at the top of the basketball mountain. They make the Final Four last year. It made us sick to see it, but they made it. It made them sick when we made it. But now we've all got that out of our dang system.
Made them sick to get beat by UConn.
Right. Well, and you know what?
And it made us sick to get beat
by Virginia.
By the national champion.
Right. And Alabama had their chances in that game, and UConn ended up pulling away there. But Auburn had the daggum thing won.
I don't want to go.
Well, I mean, we just don't need to talk about any of that anymore. But that's, again, at the end of the day, that's out of everybody's system now. Now let's see who can get back there. Let's see who can be a team. And both teams, I think, are going to be formidable opponents this year for anybody they play. And I think they're both deep-run tournament teams. Auburn added a boatload of guys. And, man, the pickup from Georgia Tech is really turning
Miles
heads.
Kelly.
Yeah, Miles Kelly. And then J.P. Pegues, and you had Ja'Kai Howard and Tahad Pettiford into this mix. And you got Janai Broomback, who's one of the better players in the country. Man,
they were telling who was the assistant that was with you at Pepper Trail?
Pruitt.
Coach Pruitt was talking about how, Auburn's been deep for the last several years, and that's been one of their big strengths. But, he's talking about, look, we don't even know who the starting lineup is. We're going to be playing 10 players.
They got 10 seniors on this team. Who's got 10 seniors on a basketball team?
So they're going to be – it's going to be – when's the last time you saw Kentucky coming in at 8 in the preseason?
And then,
8.
And then not Calipari, they're coaching anymore.
So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he's at Auburn.
And how many – let's see, no Kentucky player on the first team or the second team, all SEC.
Well,
no Kentucky
talk about
player.
A program that – talk about some fans that are –
I bet they're bad. You talk about getting antsy.
Well, they're antsy.
They already antsy. That guy, he ain't coached a game yet.
So. He's already on the hot seat.
Yeah. All right, we got to take our first break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
First break of the second hour.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price,
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR Sports Wings Around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SEC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen-printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here.
Russ, you got the speaker on, brother.
In surround sound. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. We're going to go to the Eric McKinley?
It's Eric McKinley Mortgage Pro Hotline.
Well, let's do it then.
Terry, what's up, man?
Hey, guys, how's it going tonight?
Man, we're good.
Good.
Great. I want to get you guys' take on something. This week coming up, Auburn coming out the week off against Missouri in the football game this Saturday. Is anything going to be different at all? Is Hugh Freeze just stuck on what he wants to do and doesn't care what anybody thinks at all? Because personally, I think if Auburn, passes the ball 4 to 15 times, they're going to lose. Based on what Texas A&M did to Missouri.
I'll say this. Hugh Freeze, if you listen to his press conference, he made quite a big deal, and somebody was asking about the 4th and 1 and about the miscommunications and all this. And he said, we've had 2 weeks now. He said, if we have any kind of miscommunication on a 4th down or any other way for the rest of the year on a play like this, he basically said, we're a bunch of idiots. He didn't say it in those words, but that's exactly what he meant.
He better hold by his tongue.
Okay, so if we come out against Missouri and look like we did on that first play against Georgia, or don't know, miscommunication or whatever, have something like that, then we've hired Bill Curry.
And he's the same guy that keeps having faith in Peyton Thorne, right?
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
Look, Missouri's only a 4.5-point favorite. So what does that say about them? I mean, they just came off of. I don't count the UMass win. That's about like Auburn playing, Alabama A&M. But they went to UMass. Somehow, I don't know how that happened. They went and played in front of 16,000 people. That one blew my mind. But anyway, Missouri, the last real game they played, got their doors blown off by Texas A&M. Now, Texas A&M has proved to be a little bit better than everybody thought they were. But anyway, they didn't compete. And so they're coming back. And Auburn, crazy enough, believe it or not, whether we like to say it or not, the offensive numbers outside of cashing in points have been pretty good. You know, it's just finishing daggum drives and not turning the football over. If Auburn were to somehow put a game together where everybody was on the same page, I think they could be dangerous. Is that going to happen on the road in Columbia? Look, that's not a daunting environment. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, and they got rocks in one of the end zones, okay? So it's not this unbelievable hard place to go play, and usually it's an advantage for the away team in those early games. We saw what South Carolina just did at Alabama. So if Auburn can actually come out and not shoot itself in the foot 100 times, they could win this football game, Terry.
I tend to agree, but the most important stat is putting the numbers on the scoreboard. That they're not doing. It's like they move the ball well between the 10-yard lines but can't punch it in.
Well, that's what I said. I mean, you know, they've got great numbers, but they don't cash in. So if they can cash in and they can finish and they don't make mistakes, I think this is a very winnable game. I mean, because, look, Vanderbilt should have beat Missouri in Missouri. I'm not impressed by this Missouri team so far. I think there's a lot of opportunity for Auburn to go on the road and get a win and get things started right on the bye week. But, again, we got to see it before we can believe it.
Right. You know what game concerns me the most is the Vanderbilt game at home because Pavia, I know that's 2 weeks down the road, but, you know, that guy's got a mental block, and gosh almighty, how good would Auburn be if Hugh Freeze had swallowed his pride and not been bought into the Peyton Thorne and got Cam Ward or Diego Pavia?
Oh, we wouldn't be talking about what we're talking about right now. I mean, I'm
talking about a 5-1 football.
Absolutely, maybe 6-0. I mean, I definitely think with those two guys, one of those two guys, I mean, Auburn's not, you know, turning the ball over at a record pace in those first couple of games, and then they're not. I mean, in the Georgia game's probably a lot closer. I mean, I think it would have had a chance, but right now it is what it is, and we're stuck with what Peyton Thorne and Hugh Freeze decided to do. Now we got to try and make the best of it.
And you know what I don't understand about Thorne the most, Andy and Brett? When he came from Michigan State, all he heard was he makes great decisions and he's real accurate. I have seen none of that. Zero. Zilch. None. He makes terrible decisions, and he's accurate, all right, but if it's the team wearing the wrong color jersey.
That's a little unfair. I think he's made some good throws.
6 interceptions.
He's made some good throws. I mean, to say he's never accurate, he's been very accurate on some throws, just not enough. And
well, maybe the better word is consistency.
I would agree 100%. He makes bad decisions, especially when he's under pressure. And that's
here's the part I can't understand the most, Andy and Brett, is they keep talking about how the 3 interceptions by Hank Brown in the first half at Arkansas. Last time I checked, you had to pass 3 to get to 6.
You're right. No doubt. I mean,
look,
here's the thing that disturbed me the most about all of this is that he was so confident. When I say Hugh Freeze, about going with Peyton Thorne, and 3 games in, he benched him because it got so bad in the Cal game that he said, I just can't watch this anymore. And that was his guy. That was the guy that he chose to keep instead of going out and trying to get Cam Ward or Diego Pavia or somebody else. He was so disgusted.
Bigger
he
between the Big Ten and the Southeast Conference than we think.
Right, and now we're back to him starting again because Hank Brown came out and looked so bad against Arkansas. Apparently he can't handle pressure either. So he's made this bad. I mean, I don't feel sorry for him because he made these decisions, and now we're all having to suffer through it.
And he also made the statement in the preseason that he's put all the necessary weapons around Peyton Thorne to be better, and he still sucks.
And he has. I mean, that's the thing that makes you scratch your head more than anything. He did. He went out and got all these great receivers, and KLS is phenomenal. Malcolm Simmons is just phenomenal too. I mean, maybe Cam Coleman's been a little disappointing, but I mean, he's still a phenomenal athlete. I mean, dadgummit, he went out and did the things you got to do, but it's like getting all these ingredients and going in the kitchen and nobody knows how to cook any of it.
Yeah, well, what's going to happen next year when none of the guys are there?
So, I mean, that's a good question.
Yep. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry.
Thank
you. I'll say it again. Look, 2.5 games now. Peyton Thorne has one turnover that I would put on him. And again, it was a big one against Oklahoma, but 2.5 games. He's gotten better. Can he maintain that?
The vanilla
Can
number,
he maintain that?
Well, I agree. The no turnover thing was a step in the right direction, but his numbers were so vanilla against a good football team like Georgia. That's not going to cut it,
200 yards pass.
But he didn't throw a touchdown pass. And again, a good quarterback doesn't go out there
Why
and go.
Did he throw a touchdown pass?
I mean, I don't know.
Why?
Because
Malcolm didn't catch it.
Well, that was one play.
But that would have been a touchdown.
I understand.
pass.
I get it. But his numbers were vanilla again in a big football game. Look, we can sit back and go, oh, he didn't make any mistakes. But he also didn't do anything that won the football game. Dynamic quarterbacks.
You know when the last time.
Well, I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
You know when the last
that's what he
time-
decided to go
Do
with.
you know when the last time we had over 300 total yards and 200 yards passing against Georgia in Athens?
It flattered me.
2009.
Well,
It's been that long. We lost 21-14. To say he had vanilla numbers in Athens is unfair to me because he threw for 200 yards in that game.
Mississippi State comes in and scores 31
I
points.
get it.
So,
I
mean,
know
let's
it.
just quit with all this.
It's not great.
Can we just quit saying that, he did good because he didn't turn the ball over. Oh, my gosh. Oh, we have made so many strides in 2 weeks. The bar's so dadgum low, you can't even slide a piece of paper under, okay? I mean, if that's what we're trying to go with, then I'm sorry. Excuse me for being disappointed that he went over there and threw for 200 yards and didn't do anything else, okay? I mean, I guess I'm just too tough.
No, that's a fair point. All right, we got to take another break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Alex City and west side of the lake. It's time to celebrate because the all-new Lake Martin Pizza is open with the area's best pizza, and it's just down Highway 63 South in our town. Lake Martin Pizza of Highway 63 has a huge outdoor seating area with enclosed heated comfort, a full bar with cold beer, wine, and full spirit selection with family ownership and fun for the whole family. Dine in or pick up. It's just a short drive to our town and is hands down the area's best pizza. Like us on Facebook to see upcoming live entertainment and watch sports on our 360 wraparound TVs. Rejoice! Lake Martin Pizza on Highway 63 is ready for you.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Daytonville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing.
At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by Sunshine Heating and Air for all your heating and cooling needs. Going to get a little cool outside tonight.
Feels pretty good out there.
It's fallish.
Well, you don't like it. You don't like it, though.
I don't mind fall. It's the winter that I don't really like.
The frozen tundra effect. All right, Terry's
Uh-oh.
got
I've said something.
I know it's a callback. It's a follow up by Terry.
Hey, Andy.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
You love to beat your chest. I've heard you for 3 weeks in a row talking about that. But let me ask you this question: how many victories has Auburn celebrated since pathetic Peyton has done that?
Since pathetic Peyton has been reinserted in the lineup, I believe that would be.
He beat New Mexico and Alabama.
He didn't beat him. He didn't beat New Mexico.
Time to drop that, okay?
Yeah.
That's Lincoln Riley saying, "Well, we had the number one pick in the draft. We were 7-5, but we had the number one pick in the draft."
Look. I fully acknowledge, and I'm not a Peyton Thorne defender. I'm just saying I fully acknowledge the fact that we are 2-4, and a lot of that is on Peyton. I'm just saying, since he was reinserted in the offense, y'all want to give him grub, and rightly so. I'm just trying to state some facts that he has only really turned the ball over one time in 2.5 games here, and he has not played terrible. Now he's made some bad choices. That 4th and 1, yes, but it's not all on Peyton Thorne. Let me just say that.
So doesn't forget the fact one turnover. Forget the fact they hadn't won a ball game, right?
I don't forget that. It's bad.
That's in facts here.
Well, and again, the fact that we haven't done that since 2009 also just adds fuel to the fire of how pathetic we've been for a while. I mean, I hate to be that way. Without sprinklings of good years in 10, 13, and 17, we've been pretty mediocre. And then
trust me, at 2-4, I'm not beating my chest for sure. There's no pride here at all.
Who was the quarterback in 2009? I don't even remember.
I guess it was Chris Todd. No, Does that be right?
Whoever was right before Cam Newton. I mean, Cam Newton came in 10.
I think that would be Chris Todd.
Well, I know Kyle Frazier and all was mixed in there at some point.
That was in 2012.
That was after
Kyle Frazier.
Was that after?
Okay.
Yeah, you know Bobby. I mean, who was the yokel that we brought in to change the offense in 2008?
Oh gosh,
he's the one that brought Chris Todd in,
right?
And he stayed. I think after we fired him. I think that's right.
I mean, you're just harping on that turnover thing way too much, and the guy just flat out stinks.
Well,
sorry, he just does.
Well, he's had plenty.
Everybody agrees he's the weak link on that football team right now.
If we had better quarterback play, we'd be in a lot better shape, no doubt.
Yeah, I think everybody agrees on that.
Yep.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for being back on.
Yep. Yeah. Any problem? No problem, buddy.
No, anytime to insult me, by all means, come on back.
I mean, look, I think we beat a dead horse, but I will say this: he brought up Lincoln Riley. Guy just can't win big games, man. I mean, look, his offensive numbers are great, and he does put a lot of quarterbacks in NFL, and they do win Heismans. But through 33 games, Clay Helton had a better record than Lincoln Riley, and they gave him everything but the entire lower half of California. They gave him multiple houses, jets, unlimited access to private jets, cars, just 2 or 3 Wells Fargo trucks full of money. I mean, and he just where we are, Andy. I mean, all these universities are so starved to find the next great. And Lincoln Riley was good at Oklahoma, and he put up some great numbers, and he won some conference championships. He ain't never put anything in the trophy case as far as a national championship. He goes out to USC, and everybody wanted to hang Clay Helton. And Clay Helton has a better record through 33 games than he does. Say what you want to say, but 33 games is a pretty good sample size.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 daggum years worth. And here we are talking about, well, Clay Helton didn't get that. He got the boot. So,
well, Dan Lanning had not won a big game. And he had his opportunity, and they took advantage of it.
And they did, and it was fortunate. And
yeah, I mean, that was just.
But he did. They were on the winning side of things.
They got the win.
But here's another guy, and I know we'll talk about this here in a minute. But Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, I thought this was supposed to be the year, Ole Miss fans. Lane Kiffin, portal, going out and getting all these guys, and they sitting there now. They're not making the playoffs. No. They're not making the playoffs. I mean, they have not looked good in a couple of games. And I know it was Baton Rouge. They can't get a win down there. And, again, everything was supposed to line up for them this year. And I think you're finding out that they're missing Quinshon Judkins a lot more than they would like to admit. Now, they got some good players. And I think Jackson Dart's a good quarterback. But you know what they are? They're 5-2, and they're 1-2 in the conference. And I think they're already out of the playoff contention. And I think Ole Miss fans, from what I've read and seen all week, Andy, they are PO'd.
Still got to go to Arkansas. Still got to play Georgia. They still got some losses to come, I think.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, again, though, Georgia, Oklahoma's not a good team, and they got them at home. Florida, that's going to be interesting because of all the smoke and talk about Billy Napier exiting and him being the replacement. And, I'll say this, we got to get to break, but that morning he tweets out a picture of a gator crossing a canal, and he says, good sign, and he tags Ole Miss football. And the Ole Miss fans were like, can you get off Twitter, please, and get ready for the game? And would you quit trolling your own fan base? I mean, the guy he's just he's a, he's just not a likable guy. I just think he loves to needle everybody, even his own people.
I think you're probably right.
So, but there's going to be a lot of talk about, that's all they're going to talk about is Lane Kiffin going to be here next year? When they have to go down to the swamp and all that. I mean, this was not a daunting schedule coming down the stretch for Ole Miss, but they've already dropped 2 games, Andy. I don't think they're going to win out, but even if they did, I don't think they make it in.
No, I don't either. All right, we've got to take another break. I've got to go beat my chest a little bit more, but we'll be back with more right after this.
Don't take it personal.
Thunderbolt Lightfoot at Oscar's Cafe on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, Alabama is looking to see you today. Now, let me tell you, they got great food. They've always had great food all these years. Now, they still got that atmosphere. They still got that service. They still cater. Let me stop right there. 15 to 415 they can handle. So give them a call today at Oscar's, Highway 49 South in Dadeville. 256-825-4827.
The new owners of Stillwater's Country Club want to welcome you to play the area's premier course at Stillwater's with our new rate. Now, play for only $35 per 18 during the week and only $40 for the weekend. Stillwater's Golf is ready to give you the area's best golf experience, and many upgrades are coming, including a lighted range and course expansion. Meet the new staff and enjoy $35 per 18 Monday through Friday and $40 on the weekends. All at Stillwater's Country Club in Dadeville.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug-tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SDC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Announcing Camping World's Inflation Buster camping program. You can now get into a new RV starting at just $98 a month. We won't let the economy steal your camping season. Take advantage of this very limited time offer and lock in your low monthly payment today.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with. Nah, you're not Luke. Brett here with you. I'm sorry.
It's just habit.
Insulted
It's
you.
just habit.
We only got a couple of more segments left in the show tonight. Thank you so much for being with us. Some really interesting games coming up this week. Several in the SEC, but we'll start in the ACC a little bit. Miami is a 4-point favorite on the road at Louisville. Louisville was ranked not due just a couple of weeks ago, but they've kind of fallen off. Can Miami stay undefeated?
Yes.
After, they struggled with Virginia Tech.
Could that be us?
They were down 35-10.
Can that be us? Could that be us? It could be.
To Miami?
It could be. It could be us.
Because Miami's team's no better than Auburn.
It's not, again.
At quarterback, that's what
my gosh, how many times I got to say
it is. Yeah.
Just implement a quarterback into a team that's mediocre, and all of a sudden they're 6-0. And they're not really the number 16 in the country.
They're not, and they're not going to go.
But you got to put them somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're 6-0, and until somebody beats them.
I don't know who's going to. Clemson, do they play Clemson? They'll probably play them in the. I bet Clemson would beat them in the ACC title game.
I don't know. I wouldn't ride with that.
Now, Nebraska, how about this one all of a sudden being an interesting game? 5-1, good for the Huskers, at number 16, Indiana, who is undefeated. The Hoosiers are a 6.5-point favorite.
Nebraska ended up making a good hire, Matt Rule. Boy, it was a good hire for him. He got the heck out of Carolina.
Yeah, he did.
Good Lord, that dumpster fire.
They're not good.
They're terrible. But Indiana, man, my gosh.
I don't know who took over that program after Tom Allen left.
But he was doing a pretty good job.
He was.
And then now maybe Juju Lewis doesn't look so dumb actually considering going to that place. I mean.
Wouldn't that be?
After USC, the way they're playing, look at it, who's got the better argument. We all laughed. Auburn and Indiana and USC, and everybody like, it's a no-brainer, Auburn. It's SEC. Daggum, man, Indiana's the best of the 3.
That is funny.
No, it really isn't, but it is for Indiana fans.
Michigan, number 24 at number 22, Illinois.
Could this be a bigger block?
I said a couple of games. I said it 2 years ago. Give Bert a little time, and he will have Illinois challenging. I don't know if they'll win anything, but
he's in a lot better spot.
They're a good team.
They're a lot better spot than him at Arkansas.
Yeah. He's just a Big Ten guy, I guess. I don't know why.
Is this a blah game or what?
It's if you like old fashioned run the football, this is your game.
Michigan, man, they are not the same team they were last year.
They're not, and they've lost a lot. And I'm not sure. Chances that guy's at Michigan 3 years from now.
Not going to happen. May not be there next year.
All right, number 14, Texas A&M is a 15.5-point favorite on the road at Mississippi State. Mississippi State put up 31 against Georgia in a loss on the road.
Was that the biggest shocker of the weekend that nobody really talked about?
Did they shock A&M?
No. The only way they'd shock A&M is if they rolled out some electrical wires into their bench. That's the only way Mississippi State's shocking anybody. No, they're not. Texas A&M's pretty good. I think Connor Weigman is, coming off that injury, coming back and looks in control of that offense. What?
Nothing. I'm just thinking.
Electrical shock.
No, I'm just thinking cow prods and cattle bells.
Well, that could happen.
Cowbells and cattle
They might
prods.
bring them.
Yeah, they may do.
They're at home. So.
South Carolina is at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's actually a 3-point favorite here. This could be a fun game to watch. It doesn't mean anything for anybody, but
boy, Oklahoma just got destroyed.
Yeah,
I mean, it just never were in that football. I mean, it's terrible.
They were in it for the first quarter.
Well, I don't even know if I was even consider that being. I mean, they're trying to fill each other out.
Are you surprised they have not gone back to Jackson Arnold? I mean, at least he can throw it a little
Brent
bit.
Venables is being stubborn as who would also fit in that category, huh? Man, I don't know. South Carolina's a scary team that's 1-3. I mean, they lost at the end to LSU, and they lost at the end to Alabama. And, look, a bounce here or there, that's 2 more wins for them. They're sitting there at 2-2 in the league.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I mean,
3-1.
So I mean, if they'd be 3-1 instead of 1-3. So and then good Lord, man, yeah, Oklahoma can't score, and South Carolina can. So now Oklahoma's defense is pretty good, but man, we went through them like
Auburn piled up some.
I mean, it was pretty shocking how well we moved the ball on them. So look, like you said, it means nothing, but. I wouldn't. I mean, Oklahoma's only a 3-point favorite at home against a 3-3 South Carolina team. Tells you a little bit about them.
I think it does. Kentucky at Florida. I didn't know they do this. Florida is a half-point favorite. I didn't even know that was possible. But apparently that's a new thing. I don't know.
I mean, that is.
In other words, Florida and Kentucky are, in Brett Pritchard's words,
there's no question, and Mertz not being there, and look, who was it that went down? It was Texas A&M that went down there and just ran them out of the swamp. Kentucky, man,
Kentucky can't score. Florida, I don't even know what Florida is.
I don't know what they can do.
DJ
at all.
Lagway now.
Yeah, taking over from Mertz, but I don't know, man. That deserves a point. That deserves a half-point favorite. I mean, I think that just said nobody knows what to do.
Florida wins 13.5 to 12. LSU is
12.5 to 12.
Okay. LSU is a 2.5-point favorite on the road at Kansas.
They need to be a little bit cautious about this. This is the boot, man. This is the boot,
continue to play defense like they've been playing.
This is the boot, golden boot, man. This is a big game, and Arkansas is playing pretty doggone good, and LSU coming off a big win at home. They better be careful. That's all I can say.
Georgia is at Texas. This is going to be a headliner for the day, I would imagine.
We're going to find out a lot about both teams, but I think Georgia's shown some weaknesses over the last several weeks. Texas, the rust came off of Quinn Ewers in the first quarter. Texas is going to be fired up about this, and
if Texas plays well, if they play up to their capability, they win.
I agree.
If they don't, Georgia will win this game.
Where's Georgia going to be at 3-2, 5-2 in the?
I guarantee you, Georgia ain't going to be intimidated to go up there and play.
But they're not. But if they lose to Texas, are they on the border of being eliminated? I mean, it'll be 5
who they got left? They'll have Florida in the swamp at Ole Miss, Tennessee, UMass.
Hey, say what
Ole Miss and Tennessee.
I just want to say, man.
Back to back,
say
yes.
what you want to say, man.
Yes,
going
they're
to
on the
Ole
brink.
Miss, they'll be ready for that game.
They'll be on the brink.
Yep.
Yes. And then Auburn at Mizzou.
I'm gonna pick an upset. Look. I know I've been negative, but I'm not.
I talked you into it.
I'm not impressed with Missouri. I mean, I was gonna tell you that later. I know we got to get to break, but I'm not. I just have not been impressed with Missouri. And
they played 3 teams with a pulse.
Right.
They got beat. They beat Boston College by 6 at home. They got pummeled by Texas A&M on the road.
Right.
And they beat Vandy by 3 in overtime.
Yeah. And
that's the only 3 teams they played.
So
really.
I don't look. I look. They're 4.5-point favorites, which means you get 3 at home. I mean, they barely favored. I mean, I think everybody kind of feels like if Auburn plays a good football game, they'll go win it. So.
Alabama's at Tennessee. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be back with one final segment of the Sports Blitz Live right after this.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care open 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Hadley Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett. It's been sort of that anyway.
Yeah, it has.
One final segment for you tonight, and then we're going to close things out. But
I know you're talking about time, and we're talking about the decade of the 80s. Well, guess what? Just a few years away from the 80s being 50 years ago. What in the world? Dude. I mean, that's crazy.
Yes.
When you think about.
Don't get too far ahead here, Brett.
But I mean, good Lord, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you'll be over 50 by then. So.
Well, and now what will you be?
I'll be a double nickel.
There you go. So anyway, just a little bit of, whoa, that kind of got on us a little bit.
Well,
right
you
there.
know, you start thinking. I mean, I don't know. I think I was thinking about the '89 Iron Bowl not too long ago, and then I started thinking, that can't be right. That wasn't 40
something years ago.
That wasn't 35 years ago, was it? Really? No. Yeah. Is that right? Good grief. Yeah,
it's crazy, man. Crazy.
Time gets away for sure. All right, just got a couple of minutes here. How about some would you rather?
Let's do it.
Done this
Let's do
in
it.
a long time.
Let's do it.
Brett, would you rather be able to shrink yourself whenever you wanted to, or be able to grow as big as you wanted to, whatever you wanted to?
I think shrink myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the Ant-Man?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. What would you do? I mean,
know,
down to a molecule, or
you could get
like an ant?
Yeah, maybe an ant, kind of out of sight. Kind of get around and.
That would be pretty cool. I mean,
what are you gonna do if you're some big old giant slumbering around everywhere?
Well,
what you want to do? Step on people's houses or something?
It could be fun.
I mean, if you're an ant or something, you can get into secret places and check out things, and kind of be obscure about it. And I mean, giant. I mean, you just destroy everything.
That's they hire you out for war.
I guess, yeah.
Would you rather be able to communicate telepathically or know every single language on the planet?
I'd rather communicate telepathically.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care. I mean, I don't
words
care
are
about
unnecessary.
Well, I mean, my language is good enough.
I'd rather know every language. I'd love language.
I mean, that's pretty cool, but I'd like to be able to communicate like, okay.
Okay.
Hey,
would you rather, Brett, see a UFO or Bigfoot?
I'd rather see Bigfoot.
Really?
Because, I mean, this thing.
You're a woodsman. Have you ever seen anything out there?
I heard him one time, but
you didn't.
Never got a good
Never got a glimpse.
No, I never got a good glimpse.
What did it sound like?
I'm sorry. I got to say this. Can you believe on the front porch, Kenny had these people on here? It was supposed to be serious. Like this Bigfoot hunting team came to Alex City because somebody said they saw a Bigfoot in the Talladega National Forest, and they came here and did all this. I mean, are we kidding ourselves right now? I mean,
I missed that one.
It happened. They
didn't find anything?
I mean, no, they didn't.
Brett, would you rather have a 1-minute conversation with your past self or your future self?
Probably my future self.
See how things are going to go?
Yeah. I mean, what's in the past is in the past, man.
Well, I mean, it'd be interesting if you had a conversation with your past self and you mentioned something to change something, then it would change your present self?
I guess. Yeah, maybe so.
Interesting.
Yeah,
would you rather be chased through a forest by a zombie or a lion?
A zombie, they don't run very fast.
Well, it depends on which movie it is.
I mean, you take a big stick and hit them on the arm, it just falls off. A lion,
it's hard to deal with a lion.
You can get away from a lion.
Hard to deal with a lion. Would you rather have everything you eat be too sweet or everything not sweet enough for the rest of your life? I thought about this one today. This one was tough.
I'd probably just go with too sweet.
I'm thinking I'd go with not quite sweet enough because I can kind of live with that, but something that's too sweet.
It's too sweet. Yeah, I know. True. I don't know. I don't think you win very good on either one of those. That's right.
All right, one final one. Would you rather live 1,000-year life or 10 100-year lives?
Ooh. Well, 1,000 years, that's old. I'd like to start over.
Now, yeah, let's
start
qualify
over.
this.
Would you start over?
Let's say you basically, like for the 1,000-year life, you got a good prime of like 800 years.
Right. I'm going with 10. Yeah, we got you. Yeah, I'm going with 10 100 year lives.
I think I may go with 1,000. You like the Highlander.
Okay. All right. Luke said, yes, Brett. Yes, it was. No way Mississippi State should have put that many on Georgia. I agree.
All right. That's going to wrap it up for us. Thank you so much for being with us. He's Brett. I'm Andy. So long for now. We'll talk again soon.
Ivy Creek Healthcare is excited to showcase their newest clinic, Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin, located conveniently near the main entrance to Stillwater's on Highway 49 South in Dadeville. Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin is an urgent care with walk-ins welcome. Whether you need lab work, x-rays, or immediate care, find comfort here at Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin. Ivy Creek, here when you need us most. 256-827-5379.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen-printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
As the heat of summer fades and cooler temperatures come calling, we look forward to that feeling of fall. It's the perfect time to be outdoors with family and friends and a great time to be alive. Make sure your heart is ready for the season with an appointment at the UAB Heart and Vascular Clinic at Russell Medical. I'm Dr. Kevin Sutherland, and our entire clinic is dedicated to keeping your heart healthy. We're right here in your own community and backed by the knowledge and expertise of UAB Medicine. Make an appointment today by calling 256-234-2644 or visit uabmedicine.org/heartrussell.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.